Outback Australia, an unforgiving territory, and a land of amazing creatures, where sometimes nature needs a helping hand. These are the everyday heroes bound by a single mission: to save wildlife anywhere, anytime. In this episode of Outback Wildlife Rescue, half a tonne of jet-lagged crocodile arrives at his new home. But not everything goes to plan.
We're just going to have to use people power.
Just checking for any damage.
A simple plastic bag threatens the life of a turtle. And a twisted kangaroo tail.
Sort of figure it out as I go along.
Can John set him straight? Australia is massive and the wildlife diverse. From the tropical Queensland coast to what's called the top end, Darwin and the monsoonal wetlands that surround it. And south through the arid interior to the red deserts of Alice Springs and beyond. It's a long way from the wetlands of the Northern Territory to the harbour city of Sydney, 4,000 kilometres. But one of the territory's most dangerous crocodiles has just made that journey. At Sydney Airport, the special delivery is being met with a mixture of fear and disbelief.
He's looking good. He hasn't moved that much, which means that I've done my job right.
1, 2, 3, go! Move!
Chris PEBERDY's job for the last 12 hours has been to safely transport this 4.5-metre crocodile all the way from Darwin. He'd worn out his welcome in Darwin thanks to his anti-social behaviour at the croc farm.
They have a rule here at Darwin Crocodile Farm that it's a 2-girl rule. If they have any more than 2 girls, that they decapitate, no more.
So after an overnight flight, it's up the highway for a hopefully peaceful retirement at the Australian Reptile Park, north of Sydney. They can't wait to meet him.
It's very exciting. This is only the second time in 20 years we've done this.
This arrival is a big event. The local school kids have come along to watch. And why not? There's 500 kilos of cranky, jet-lagged croc in that box. And it's anyone's guess what will happen when they open the lid.
If everything goes according to plan, the boys will put the box down with the snout facing the water. Now, he's a lot more lively than we had expected, so if everything goes well, he's going to run straight into the water. If it doesn't, we don't know what's going to happen.
At the Australian Wildlife Hospital in Beerwah, Queensland, more than 30 different species come through the door every day. They try to help them all, but some need more help than others. Young Riley's an eastern grey kangaroo. It's his second visit here. He recently had surgery to repair a broken arm. And today, Jenny, his carer, has brought him back for what she hopes will be his final treatment.
It was a bit of a nasty fracture, so we had to use external fixators, these are called, where the pins actually go perpendicularly into the bone fragments. So we're just going to take a follow-up x-ray and make sure the bone's knitted well, and then we'll take those pins out if everything's going well.
Jenny has been a wildlife carer for more than 25 years. She specialises in raising sick or orphaned joeys like Riley.
Jenny has had Riley since he was quite small, so about 3 months in the whole process, and that involves 4-hourly feeds around the clock. So she's had a rough time with him as well.
Well, that's very nice, isn't it? So I'm really happy with the way this is healed up. This the fracture site was through there.
Riley's arm has healed. The pins can be removed.
Very happy with that.
But Jenny still looks worried. She suspects Riley might have a bigger problem. And if she's right, Riley's day is about to take a turn for the worse.
Jenny's also brought to our attention that this kangaroo's got a deformity in the tail.
You couldn't feel anything when it was little. As it's grown, it's got worse.
Yeah.
I wondered whether it was a deformity.
Yeah, so we'll take some x-rays of that too and see if we can figure out what's going on there.
An X-ray confirms John's worst fears. Riley's tail is growing out of shape.
Yeah, so we've got very severe deformity in these two vertebrae. We've got what looks like fusion of these. We've also got a bit of deformity occurring in this one.
John knows that Riley can't survive in the wild with a deformed tail.
The tails are really important for, for locomotion, for balancing when they're hopping, and they're obviously important for males when they're fighting. So that's a real bother that we've got such a serious sort of spiral deformity in that tail.
Surgery's the only chance, but truth is, it's a slim one. John's never tried it before, and Riley's life hangs in the balance. The Ark Animal Hospital is Darwin's frontline triage for injured wildlife.
Up here today.
I got a turtle for you.
Oh, really?
If it's hurt and needing help, the public bring it here.
Just off the harbour outside Darwin.
So you definitely come to the right place then. Just wasn't swimming properly or anything like that?
Nah, just couldn't seem to dive down again. So.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much for bringing him in, though. We'll get him looked at straight away, mate.
No worries. Catch you later.
See you, mate.
Vet Stephen Cutter is well used to dealing with 20 different species a day. But turtles can be tricky.
It's just bobbing along the top?
Yeah, apparently.
Although they breathe air, sea turtles that can't dive don't last long in open water. They're an easy snack for any crocodile or shark that happens by.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the underside of his shell, just checking for any damage. Okay, this is a hawksbill turtle. They're declining worldwide, but they're not uncommon in the harbour. These guys eat a lot of jellyfish, and they see a plastic bag floating along in the sea and they think it must be a jellyfish. They eat it, and then it gets down to a certain stage, blocks their intestine, and then they try to vomit it back up because their body realises it's not a jellyfish. And then when they do that, they breathe some of the food back into their lungs, and then they can't sink. So they bob along the surface like a cork.
If Stephen's right, there's every chance the turtle has developed pneumonia. And just as in humans, that lung infection can be fatal.
His lung is actually along the surface here rather than sort of halfway through like they are in people. They've got a long, thin lung that's sort of in the top sort of third of the body there. You've got to take some time listening to turtles breathing, because they sort of breathe about every sort of 20 seconds or so. So I can hear a fair bit of crackling and wheezing there, so there's a fair bit of muck on his lungs.
Built to dive to 70 metres, the outside of a turtle doesn't give much away. To find out what's going on under that tough shell, Stephen's going to have to fire up the X-ray machine.
Start taking the roof off, then take the fronts off.
At the Australian Reptile Park, it's time to release half a tonne of killer crocodile.
Okay, so the whole process is we're going to take the box apart, untie him, do one of those, and then we're going to chase him in here, and then it's a happy ending.
At the moment, that seems a little optimistic. Truth is, there's no telling how this croc will react when he's cut free.
Yeah, I'm nervous, to be honest. Just never know with a croc this size how he's going to react. All I hope is that his instincts will tell him that there's noise, there's scary people, the safest place he can be is in the bottom of that pond. If he goes and sits in the bottom of that pond, I'll be a very happy person.
Time matters here. The longer they take to release him, the more he'll stress, and that can be fatal. The clock won't stop ticking till he's in the water.
We're just doing a gradual untie so that by stage we're undoing the different mechanisms for securing him. First being the box, the second being the two top jaw ropes, and then the very last thing will come up will be the snout tape.
Morris the croc is finally free, and now it gets tricky. Everyone's ready to run from half a tonne of unrestrained chainsaw.
I'll wake him up, John.
He's travelled 4,000 kilometres to get here, but he's refusing to take the last few steps into his new home.
We're just going to have to use people power. It is very dangerous. He can turn around and bite his back leg, but that's just a calculated risk that we have to take.
Stressed or not, the croc is going nowhere, and this may yet end in tears.
No, that's me. Come on.
In Biawar, John's decided he's going to try the operation to fix Riley's twisted tail. He's never done it before. It's going to take all his surgical skills to save the little Roo, but according to Gail, if anyone can do it, John can.
Number one. I've seen him do things that, you know, I didn't think were possible. He's really good. He has a great empathy for the animals, and he really puts that forward, and he shines best as a surgeon. And when you see him operating, it's like watching a completely different person. He just gets totally focused on what he's doing and making it work, and it usually always works.
I'll do an incision over where the worst deviation is. Just got to be a bit careful because there are some big blood vessels that run up the tail, so I have to be careful not to cut them. Sort of figure it out as I go along. If we take a wedge out and then pull it together, it should hopefully straighten the deformity up, and then we'll have to hold it in place with pins. So it's basically like I'm breaking the bone, taking a wedge out, and then we're setting it.
The operation is going to last hours. John has to place the pins in exactly the right position, otherwise the Roo's tail will continue to twist.
Can you cut that? Going all right. There's a lot of angular deformity in the tail, so we've just put the cross pins in to give us leverage on the tail, and I've just put some rubber bands on to try and get it aligning nicely. We'll just take some radiographs to see how the whole thing's lining up. Yeah, it's just that bottom one needs tightening up.
John and the team have done all they can. The next few days will determine whether or not the operation was a success. At least now, Riley is in with a fighting chance.
Now we're just going to wait for him to wake up and see what his demeanour is, monitor his pain for the next 24 hours to make sure that he's kept pretty sedated, so we lessen the impact on him as much as we can. And hopefully by tomorrow lunchtime he should be up and on his feet, which would be great.
In Darwin, Stephen Cutter and Lisa Hansen are trying to throw some light onto this turtle's noisy lung problem. They think it might be pneumonia. X-rays will tell for sure.
X-ray. These are pretty spectacular creatures. These guys live to be at least 100, providing everything goes well for him. Left in the ocean in the condition that he was in, he wouldn't have seen out another month. Probably not another week. Something would have got him. But now hopefully he's got a chance of living a long and healthy life. And hopefully he won't need any more plastic bags.
The news isn't good.
It's a side-on view. It's quite a strong X-ray because it's got to get through all that thickness of shell. This is the sea turtle's lungs, this black shape here. You can see that the front half here is all full of sort of white fluffy stuff, and it's much lighter in colour than the back half, and that's because he's got an aspiration pneumonia. He's breathed in food through his mouth, and it's hit the top part of his lungs, and it's become infected, and that's why he's unable to sink. So he's definitely got pneumonia. We'll have to treat that, and so that's what we're going to do.
The turtle needs somewhere to recover, which means someone's about to lose their pool.
Riley, how you going? You come outside?
After Riley's risky operation, it's time for some rehab. It's an important moment for Riley. To survive, he must be able to use his tail.
Look at this. Right.
So far, so good. For the first time, Riley is putting some weight on his damaged tail.
How's that? Excellent. Look at you. You stand up? I'm really impressed. He's doing really, really well, and I can notice a difference in his muscles at the rear. When we did his operation, we noticed a significant lack of muscle tone on one side, and the muscle was really bulbous on the other. Today, it's much more even, and his tail's sitting beautifully in alignment. He's actually holding it down. He's actually got the tip on the ground as well. So they're all positive signs.
Like all kangaroos, Riley can only move forward, not back. He's a tough little character, and if he keeps improving, he'll make it.
Hopefully over the next few weeks, everything will go well for him and he'll get to return to the wild. Should be great.
Time to call his carer Jenny and arrange an emotional reunion. At the reptile park, 6 strong men are still doing battle with 1 strong croc.
500-kilo crocodile. If he don't want to move, he doesn't want to move.
They need to get the croc into his pond to help lower his stress levels. It's for his own good, but he doesn't know that.
Eyes are open. He's awake.
The kids are safely away from the action. Exciting as it is for them, it could quickly turn deadly for the handlers. This croc's previous convictions all involve extreme violence. It could go horribly wrong at any moment.
People continually will be watching his back legs, looking for the changing in his respiration rate. We're also looking for his feet digging into the foam. It's a really good indication of something's about to happen. That's good, that's what we needed.
The terror of the top end has a new home. The reptile park's newest, biggest and baddest attraction. And Chris is happy to see the back of him.
It's the greatest relief. It's finished, he's in, he's done a little lap, he's circled his new territory. He's already having a look at the kids on the fence and the different park people and working out who he's going to chase around first. So he's gone from Darwin, being there, first being a problem in the harbour, then being a problem in the crocodile farm. So he's now the reptile park's problem.
He looks really good. You'll be really pleased. How's this? Look at that. That's sweet. Say hello, Mummy.
It's been a few days since Riley had surgery to have his tail straightened, and his recovery's going well.
See on his rump now, you know how like you had this big muscle build up on this side and nothing happening on this side? You see the muscle that's starting to build up over the last few days here now? So he's really starting to use his legs properly.
Jenny's his carer, and she's close to tears. She thought she might never see him again.
I couldn't contain myself because everything that I've heard about a tail having a break there and being calcified and get euthanized. I didn't really think that they could do anything with a tail like that.
You're going to go home with Mummy, hey? Go home with Mum? We didn't think it was going to be any good at all. We were really surprised, but, you know, I think Jenny's lucky and Riley's lucky that we'll have a go at anything new and to see if it works. And as long as we can manage his pain and, you know, look after him ultimately, then we'll have a go and try to get him back out to the wild. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
I'll see you on Friday.
Really appreciate that.
You're more than welcome. Good luck, Riley.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, let's go for a swim.
3 months ago, Darwin vet Stephen Cutter gave up his swimming pool to create a turtle rehab ward. No small sacrifice in Darwin's summer heat. But it was worth it. Antibiotics have cured the turtle's pneumonia, and her lap times are back to Olympic standard.
It's looking really well. It can swim really well. It's no longer bobbing along the surface like a cork, and she looks in great health. I've been watching how long she can hold her breath underwater, and she was sitting earlier today under the water for nearly an hour, which is plenty long enough. And now I'm just basically testing her endurance to make sure that she can escape predators. And she's doing a really good job, actually.
The time's come to get back to the ocean.
Okay.
Looks like a good spot.
Yeah, I reckon this looks like a good spot.
Lots of jellyfish. No plastic bags. Remember?
This sea turtle knows exactly where she is. Scientists think they have a sort of inbuilt GPS system and can track their position by using the Earth's magnetic field.
Okay. You ready?
Hey,
This
baby.
is it.
I'm turning into the sea. You ready?
You ready?
After so long, Stephen and Lisa just hope she knows she's home.
There you go.
Time to go, baby.
Time to go. And you're off. It's all right. You can go. You're home. Look. There you go. Go on. Go on. She's a
Bit hesitant.
She is a bit hesitant. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, look at it. So that you can just... Oh, there she is. We've probably got another 100 years left to live, and you know she wouldn't have had any of those if we hadn't been able to help her. But, unfortunately, we probably won't meet again. But it's fantastic that she can go off and be the turtle she's supposed to be.
Still makes you want to cry about it, eh?
A little bit.
Watch her swim away, head come up for air, we know she's on her way out. What more can you ask for? It's just a fantastic experience.
It's just brilliant. I mean, you have a look at the pond, it's a crocodile's paradise.
In terms of a veterinary job, you know, there's no other job that I think I'd rather be doing than this.